Hey, hey, I want to just invite you all and welcome you all to the Purposeful Productivity Show. So glad to have you back with us. We are in February. We are celebrating and Black History Month with the Iron Sharpens Iron Summit. As you know, this is day 6 or session 6, and I am super excited because once I can get myself together here, we have yet another trainer, inspirational person, motivator, all around fantastic bivocational professional who really is walking the same walk we're walking. We're in that age group where we are making moves and doing things. We came through a lot and we are going to continue to move forward mainly because we have more than one thing we do in addition to run our homes and our lives and our family and our health and all of those things. And so tonight I have the privilege of having to share the stage with a woman who I've just known a little bit, less than a year. But in this year, she's made a big, big impact on my life. First of all, y'all, she got me to like football. Not only like football, but like the Baltimore Ravens. Can you say that? Just, put something in the chat if you know. So I am excited to have her with us today. I'm excited for what you will learn today. And it's all about you and you finding your voice and how to go about finding your voice in the world that you're transitioning into, out of, and through. So I would love for you all to help me welcome to the stage Miss Yolanda B.
Oh my
Hey, Miss
goodness.
Yolanda.
Good evening, Florence,
And
and
look,
everyone
James
in the
Hicks, tell
chat.
him he can't heckle today.
Oh, James, do you promise to be on your best Sunday best behavior tonight? I think so. But hello, good evening to everyone in the chat. Florence, Frank, how are you?
We are doing good. Folks are showing up. We're going to get them on, but for anyone who comes to this channel and they've never met you, they've never heard you, they've certainly if they're part of my community on my email list, part of the offline community, in my anything, they've even watched any of my Evernote Simplified series, they've heard me say your name because you're in all of that. But for those who don't know, who may be brand new, please tell us who Yolanda B is, your origin story, where you come from, and all of that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. First of all, I have to say that this is such a joy, and it really was the highlight of my day just to come and share a little bit of time with you and everyone who's joined from your community. So, a little about me. I'm Yolanda, and I have a YouTube channel, Ravens Talk with Yolanda, and it is coming back full force very soon. I've been away for a couple of weeks, but not to worry. The Baltimore Ravens are coming for that Super Bowl title next year, but I digress. I am from Florida. I relocated up to the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area about a decade ago. And when I came here, it was such a breath of fresh air in terms of the community really rallying behind the Ravens. It's a thing up here. It really is. So if you've never been to Baltimore, put that on your to-do list and you can thank me later. But I loved how this city, this town embraces and just really wears with pride the Baltimore Ravens. And I fell in love with it. And I never thought that I would have a YouTube channel talking about the Baltimore Ravens, but you know what? Here we are. And it came through just being invited, right, by other YouTubers who have their own channels about the Baltimore Ravens inviting me as a guest, and I enjoyed it, and people wanted to hear a female's perspective on football, a topic that you just ordinarily don't see women out discussing it, sharing their thoughts and opinions about a predominantly male sport. But as I mentioned before, here I am.
Yes, indeed. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. So now you can already, if you have never gone to her channel, you can go to her channel and start connecting because she's going to be back with fire here. But before I start asking you all my questions, because I got questions. I, I wish I
Mm.
had your I got
I
questions
have
mug.
my
I need
I
that. I need that in my life. I got questions. I need
okay.
that mug. Cause she is this gigantic mug, and it says, "I
Yes.
got questions" on it. So I need that. But I do have questions for you.
Okay.
Before I start to get into my questions, however, I do want to let us greet those who are here with us. And some of these names you know, and some of these names you may not know. We're going to start with our community manager, Frank Jackson, just welcoming everyone here to the summit and to the channel. And I think you know this young man, Mr. David Hunt, talking about first. He be trying to be for David Hunt, you are not a newbie. He a newbie. He is not a newbie. He is so ridiculous. The emotional CEO, happy Friday to you,
Happy
and happy
Friday.
Friday to all of the live tribe, those who are coming in and those who are not commenting. And of course, we already asked this gentleman, Mr. Hicks, no heckling, no heckling, but ask good questions. Ask good questions. Uh-oh. Here she come. Here she come. Sliding in for the number one sportcastress in these YouTube streets. Yes.
Every time she says that, it just tickles
Yes.
me.
Yes, yes, yes. And hello, Roy, tech
Hi, Roy.
troublemaker. Absolutely, just sir, just know I and many others are continually praying for your strength and
Thank
for your family in these days. It's going to be a road. It's going to be a road. But as I said to you the other day, you showed your love and you did all you needed to do for your dad. The real voice of the Ravens.
you. Oh,
Yes,
thank
the
you.
real voice of the Ravens. I love that. I love it. And you got a co-signer. You got a
Oh,
co-signer.
thank you, Tora.
And one of our other moderators, I think you know this young lady, Miss Inanea, so glad to have you. For those of you who have access to the lounge for the after party, come on in now. Come on
Yeah,
in now. And she's greeting you. So great. And I think we have someone new, Dolce 63. Glad to have you with us.
good.
Welcome to the show. If you have a question about the topic this evening, feel free to put a question in. Our moderators are standing by to greet you and provide information to you this evening. And with that, if no one has questions, you know Tora is gonna have a question. You know she's gonna have one, right?
I know it. And it's always
And,
thought-provoking.
and
So,
it's always thought provoking.
yeah.
Um, we're talking about finding your voice, and I want to stay kind of in your. Um, this is somebody who knows Torah because it's saying, "Hey Torah," um, in the lane of what you do with your channel and the Ravens, because you've got lots you're going to do with them. So I'm going to kind of stay away from the other part of your life. Just acknowledge that we know you have a whole nother
True.
profession and leave that there. You said who what motivated you to start your journey as a creator. That was the motivation in people asking you. But somewhere deep inside, there had to be some inspiration. What was that inspiration? Where did it come from?
I think the inspiration came from me having thoughts about my team, and I said, "Wait, some things the Ravens do are really, really good. And some things that they do, I have to talk about it because I have questions." And I wanted to have an opportunity to express myself looking at a sport that is male dominated. I said, "Well, I want to weigh in too. I want to be heard." And I've always been one who has never allowed barriers to dictate who I am, what I do, and how far I can go. So, as you mentioned, I do have a full-time career as I'm a trial attorney, and that has been something where even starting my career, I remember judges, I remember supervisors who were male or who are male and didn't really or had not fully embraced the fact that a female can really make a mark in the space of the practice of law because historically we've just not been invited to have a seat at the table. And for me, I said, not only am I going to pull up a chair and have a seat at the table, but I'm going to have something to say while we're dining at the table. And that's always been kind of my mindset. And I carried that with me when I started my channel on YouTube.
Awesome. Y- Gang, you all are looking at two women who are in careers separate from what you see here that are very still to this day very male dominated and who are who have to fight and stand up for what we have to say to be heard and to be accepted in the room, to be around the table making the decisions.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't take that lightly because similar while I'm in a completely different industry and type of work, what you just said resonated. I had a moment, and I remember you telling the story about when you were taking the bar, and I had a moment in my career where I got left in a computer room with a system down at a hospital, patients depending on me,
Mm,
and because I was a woman, they thought I would fail. So everyone left and left me
mm,
there by myself.
mm.
And after I wiped my eyes, I cried and wiped my eyes. I said, "Well, it's me and God. Let's go."
Let's go. That's it. That's it.
And figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured it out. And so
Yeah.
coming to this space that you come to, you came with the strength already, but it still brings a different level of challenge. Because you know me, I'm just going to say it the way it is. It's competitive, it's
Yes.
not always nice, and you really have to get to the place where you know who you are and what you want to achieve, not what others are telling you to do. What's your journey? Because we're going to talk about your accomplishments in less than a year. Can you talk about your journey of getting there and figuring it out? Because you have a very distinct style of delivery that I resonate with. What's your journey been like to from starting to developing that style?
You know, there's a saying, you can't have a message without the mess. And me starting YouTube is what I call an absolute mess. I made a mess of things on so many occasions. I can give you an example. I'm laughing at it now, and I hope someone chuckles in the audience because listen, um, at the moment that I went through it, I wasn't laughing, but here now in hindsight, I can smile. But I set out to start a YouTube channel, and I thought it was as easy as opening up my laptop and then just running my big mouth about whatever I felt like the Ravens were not doing correctly and I needed to like get it out. I thought it was that simple. Oh, by the way, I didn't realize that starting a YouTube channel meant, oh, I have to have, equipment. Wait, I don't know anything about equipment. I don't have a tech background. Oh, I have to have
Don't make me cry.
I have to have, like, software. What do you mean software? I thought you just turn on the computer and hit, like, a live button or something. So then I stumbled, right, and upon Ecamm, and I said, "Oh, well, now this is nice. Let me give this a whirl." Hmm. So I said, okay, I'm not going to try the whole let's go live right now thing because I think that might be a little bit more advanced than I am feeling at the moment, but I did anyway. So I waited for a couple of weeks to try and, encourage myself. Like David said in the Bible, when you got to encourage yourself in the Lord, I said, I'm going to encourage myself. Come on, Yolanda, you can do it. I went live and it was my first time ever using Ecamm. And I had only been live streaming at that point for maybe 3 weeks, a month, and I was
Wow.
so excited to use Ecamm, and I set up this nice scene, and Doc Rock set up, like, graphics for me, and I was really, really happy, and I wanted to show my audience that, "Listen, I can hang with the tech-savvy people too." And I was talking. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the stream. Tonight, we are going to dive right into the reasons why, and then my stream ended. I hit a button, and it ended my stream mid-sentence. Didn't I say I made a mess? I mean, a literal mess.
You cut yourself off.
I because I got this equipment because I thought, "Oh, I need a stream deck. Oh, I need a this and I need a that." So I said, "Oh, okay, well, I'll just press a button here." And I didn't realize that that button ended the stream. And I said, "Oh my, what do I do in the moment?" I picked myself up. I dusted myself off. I was shaking. I remember I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. What are people gonna think? They're gonna think I don't know what I'm doing. What value am I bringing to this space? Why am I even trying this?" I said, "Nope, nope, nope. We are going to go live again." So I set up another live stream and I called it part 2. And it's still on my channel. If you wanna have a good laugh, go check it out. But it's still there. I thought about taking it down, but I didn't. So I said all that to say, I hope you got some levity out of it. I hope somebody is
They
laughing.
are over here cracking up.
Good, because I can crack up
Frank,
now too.
Yolanda, Tora says, "Oh no, that dreaded stream deck."
It got me good.
James Hicks talking about gangster,
It
and
was so
Yolanda's.
bad.
I mean, Tora's over here rolling on the floor with you. Just they ain't right. They are not right.
I was in the middle of a sentence, family, and I just hit a button because I was going to transition to another scene, right? I was gonna show that I was advanced, okay? I had been practicing, and I said, "Wow." I started the stream again. So I said all that to say, how I started, it was mistake, fumble, accident, but I didn't stop. I had a certain idea in mind, and I had to get across the finish line. Even if I have to crawl across the finish line, if I have to slide and glide across to the finish, I have to do it because it was in me, and I was not going to allow the fear, the trepidation to set in and distract me from a goal that I had set for myself.
Key, a goal you set for your that is a goal you set for yourself, not what someone else gave you and told you to do,
That's right.
right? And so you had set this goal and you worked through.
I did. I
You
did.
worked through it. And along the way, you started connecting with people. You named one of those people, Tora. She's always coming with something. But we gonna get her back. We gonna I'm just gonna show you what she did. That's
That's
the
the
Ravens
reasons.
spirit. They stumble and fumble, but they pushed on until the end last season.
Oh, they did.
And here's Tracy. She's up in the middle of the night for you, Yolanda. Isn't that
Tracy,
isn't that wonderful?
it is so amazing. Thank you, Tracy, for being here
This
in
woman is in the UK,
the
and
UK.
she stayed up. to support Yolanda. We are in a community together. So thank you so much, Tracy. But
Thank you.
you worked through a goal that you had, and um I would love for you to share as people are starting, and it doesn't have to be YouTube. It can be anything. It can be blog writing. It can be your servant in ministry. Just gang, just understand when YouTube or content creation is simply a placeholder for whatever it is you're desiring to accomplish for yourself. So think about as you hear this, think about it from that perspective. Um, what were some of your fears? We've got the some of the mistakes, or what were some of your fears that then you overcame them to become this very strong voice, and then we're gonna talk about some of the growth you've had.
Sure. Fear number one, I'm not good enough. I am not good enough. That is something that I think I had to talk my way, pray my way through it because so many times I thought, what do I know about this sport that I've never played? What do I know about this sport that I've never coached? Here I am, a young lady from Florida, entering a space that I don't have a background to. I'm not even qualified to talk about this in front of the masses. That is something that I had to overcome. And there were many instances where I made mistakes and it was in those moments to where I felt inadequate. And it's one thing when everything is going right for you. And this is in life in general. But when you are faced in a moment of adversity, or even you're faced in a moment of uncertainty, when you begin to stop and take your focus off of the main thing, whatever that is for you, fear and doubt can settle in. And there were times where I thought, am I really good enough to do this? But I told myself, and I still tell myself, I am, and that's okay. If I make a mistake, if I call the wrong player's name, I used to feel so upset at myself. No, that's not that person, or that person doesn't play on that team. I can tell you the basics of football. I might even be able to tell you at this point a little bit of intermediate, but I never experienced or thought of myself as one who can talk advanced, complex, because football really is a foreign language. My goodness. I didn't think that I was equipped enough to do it. But here again, in those moments of doubt, in those moments of fear, that's when I convince myself and I tell myself the words that I have to say to myself often. You are enough. And that's what gets me through.
And James Hicks just said something
Oh,
that I definitely want you to hear. Love that you give yourself some grace. And we don't often do that. We beat
yeah.
our, you've heard me say this. We beat ourselves up. I am so good at beating myself up, better than anybody else can. But learning that skill and opening yourself to give yourself grace to make a mistake, to learn and to grow is, gang, whatever it is you're doing, in your bivocational world, giving yourself space. You should write that one down. If you don't have a pen and paper, get a pen and paper and write that one down. She's given you several, but I wanted to call that one out. Hey, Denise, Homemaking with Denise is here with us. We do have a community question, so I want to get that one in. And thank you. Thank you, James Hicks. So glad to have you here with us. And Homemaking with Denise. Denise, come on into the lounge. So our question is from Tora. And she says, this is a long one, so I may have to change the screen. Trial attorneys know how to command a room. Sports catchstresses know how to command an audience. How did you translate one? This is a good one. How did you translate one skill set to the other? Ooh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, it is. But, I think that they are inextricably intertwined. At the foundation of what I do in the courtroom is all about knowing my case, being prepared, and trusting in my preparation. So I have a sticky note. So I am the queen of sticky notes, right? So I have a sticky note and it's right here. And it says, trust God, trust your preparation, trust your instincts, be bold. And I have that sticky over here where I work, and I have it in my office because those are the times that I remind myself, you've prepared for such a time as this. You are ready for the moment. And the moment is in front of you. You can either make it
Mm,
or you don't. And I choose to be in the category of the ones that can say, I made it. So that's
wow.
how I think for me, even though they are different skill sets, the underlying theme is that you know that you have prepared. And each time I do a live stream, I prepare. I write my notes. I study. I learn about players. I learn about positions. I teach myself so that when I turn on the camera, I'm presenting something to my audience that is well thought out and well reasoned. I do the same thing in a court of law.
So that's translating those skills. So we have a question from the community. Y'all ask her questions. You know me. Don't ask me later. I'm going to say you should ask Yolanda. This is some tech troublemaker who has a very demanding career, and he has really been having to deal with family and give himself grace, as he said. But his question is, how do you balance the day job and content creation? This is that bivocational where you're got sometimes it can feel like two full-time endeavors, and it doesn't have to be content again, anything, but balancing that along with family and everything else. How do you tackle it?
So if I had to say, Roy, that I have an area, and this is a moment of full transparency because you all are family. If I had to say there's an area where I can stand to improve, it is learning how to set boundaries and maintain boundaries. Because it's one thing to set them. You say, okay, at this time, I'm going to shut everything down and take some time for me, right? But then something comes up and you're like, oh, I really don't have time to take for me. I need to really see about this, or someone over here needs my attention, or I need to finish writing this brief. I need to prepare for arguments, right? So, how do I balance it? I'm learning how. And the way that what I've found for me is I incorporate time that if I have it in the day to dedicate to preparing for a show, I make the time. If I don't have the time because I had to work late or something came up, I let my community know that, hey, family, tonight I'm so sorry there won't be a stream, but you'll see me back very soon. And that's my way of allowing myself the space that I need in the event that I can't deliver as promised. Because one thing that I strive to always be is a woman of my word. Dependability is huge for me, and I don't want to feel like I've let my community down. But in the same vein, life is happening over here, a whole life. And if my priorities take command of the time that I would have wanted to invest in content creation, that day, I may have to step aside, but I let them know that I'll be back. And that's my word.
Y'all, take some notes. Just saying, take some notes. We got another question over here from Miss Denise. If I can get myself together, she says, "How do you stay organized while trying to balance several endeavors?" Staying organized, that's a huge one, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Organization is a must in the legal profession. And if you are not organized, because for me, I am very much a deadline targeted person because when the judge sets a deadline, I have to organize my priorities to ensure that I'm meeting every deadline and not missing anything. So, staying organized for me requires thoughtful time into how I'm going to prepare for the next day. Usually, I like to prepare on Sundays. I come home from church, I spend time with my family, and then I set aside a little bit of time where I look at my calendar for the upcoming week. I see what deadlines I have. I see what days the Ravens are playing. If they're playing usually on Sunday, but sometimes they might play us a Monday or a Thursday. And I try to figure out when I have time that week to not only meet the demands of my job, but also to have time to prepare for my streams or my shows or my videos. One thing I've added recently is trying to incorporate more videos on my channel because before I was just going live, just talking. But I also want to record videos. That for me is taking a lot more time than I thought because I want it to be right. I want my video to look a certain way or have a certain feel. So that takes more time. So for what I like to do is on Sundays, I get out my pen and my notebook and I write how I'm going to devote the time that I'm given this upcoming week to ensure that work is satisfied, but I also have the time mapped out for YouTube as well.
That weekly planning, you all have heard me, but folks are co-signing. Tracy says, "Well said. I am full." She is full-time YouTube, and it's still hard. Need to learn to say no. Realize subscribers and members are okay with that as long as you keep them updated. You know
Yes.
what, Tracy? Most people are okay with shifts and changes when you set the expectation. Keeping them updated is simply nothing more than setting expectation. People become, all of us become frustrated when we don't know what to expect and something occurs and we did not expect it. That becomes the challenge in and of itself. Family, and if you like, you have real life work too, first. So I thought we have another question here. Or maybe not. Maybe we did ask that one, and we did ask that one. Okay. So I am going to ask another question. My question, and I keep doing this, covering up your face. It's really not in on purpose. At
It's
least it's
okay.
kind of purple.
Mhm.
Kind of, kind of purple.
I like it. I like it.
We have another question.
Thank you. We got another question. Okay, we're going to ask this question then. Let me get it up here for you. And it's Miss Tora, and she says, "What's the most pink and green? I see them colors. Thing about what's the most thing about the way you carry yourself in the courtroom in the broadcasting chair?" What's the most thing about the way you carry yourself in the courtroom? And second question, in the broadcasting chair.
Um,
I keep doing
I
this.
think the if I had to say the way I carry myself in a courtroom, what you see here, I'm always smiling. I'm always laughing. I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. It's if you were to see me in the courtroom, you probably wouldn't recognize me. You're going to see 100% all business. I don't smile. I'm very matter of fact. Um, I don't it's just the opposite of what you see here. So I guess for me, YouTube is a way to kind of like separate who I am by day and just let my hair down and relax and smile and have fun at night. So um yeah, if you've ever seen like crime drama shows and you see the seriousness, right, of the attorneys, and they come in and they're very stoic and they're very straight faced, and they don't crack a smile. That's what you see usually when I'm in court. It's very much the same way. So I know it'd be very different to see me at work because I don't really display that side of me here on YouTube. And when I'm broadcasting, you typically get whatever I'm feeling. So that's one thing about YouTube. If I'm really upset at something that the Ravens did, you're gonna see it on my face. But if I'm also really happy, you're gonna see me break out my pom-poms, you're gonna see me get excited, you're gonna see me, you're gonna see all of the enthusiasm, right, as a fan. So in a court of law, it's very straight-laced, it's very serious. But here, I can, I can let my hair down and have fun, and, I don't get to do that much at work.
Yeah. We have another great comment from Tracy. You know what? Your friend need help. Your friend need help.
Uh-oh, gotta get some help from my friends.
The hair is your friend need help.
Thank you, Tor. It's funny because some days when I'm going live, I'm like, "Oh, this hair just don't wanna work. Let me just go find a hat, find something to put over a scarf or some can I just find something, a tablecloth, a sheet, a bed sheet, something, because this is not working." And then I'll come right on camera and you will not even know that I had the struggles. Good evening and welcome into the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Listen, we are going to talk about why the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. See, I will transition just like that. And you would not even know that I was back there struggling, okay,
Back there
fighting with my
struggling
hair.
on the struggle bus.
Yes.
On the struggle bus. And Tracy says, uh, I like what you are on YouTube, Yolanda.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. She's just so sweet.
And
Tracy is
you all, if you have not, Tracy has multiple channels. And the one that I follow is YouTube for Grown-ups with Tracy. She is an absolute delight. And what Tora talking about a tablecloth?
because that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. I was like, sometimes when I'm having a quote unquote not so great hair day, I'm thinking, can I just find a hat, a sheet, a tablecloth, bed skirt, or something
Something.
to put on my
Put
head?
up
Something because my hair's not looking right. Yes. So that's a
a
bed skirt,
tablecloth,
something,
a bed skirt, right?
whatever,
But
anything.
so if you guys have not, and you should be, by the way, just sidebar, you should be able to type the word equip in the chat and your channel should come up. Hopefully it is um, cooperating today. She called it her baby channel, but she's
Mm.
absolutely fabulous at it. Hey, hey, Aubrey, glad to have you join us. Aubrey is my writing
Oh,
buddy.
Obs,
We
thank you
get
for
our
being
writing in
here. Hi,
and
Obs.
with some common music. So you built a really thriving channel in less than a year. You in like a day or two before your 1 year anniversary, you hit 1,000 subscribers. Pretty rapidly, you got monetized and joined the YouTube Partner Program, and you started a membership. People are joining. You're doing things with them, and you're putting in place. What was that journey like for you? And you're now at 1,500 subscribers.
Yeah,
And what
I
do you
started
think
my
made the
YouTube
difference?
ooh, I started my YouTube channel on February the 24th of last year. And it's I didn't expect it. But that's why you gotta listen to to your mom or to your grandmother or whoever speaks into your life who's older than you. Gotta be careful what you pray for. That's what my mom would always say. Be careful what you pray for. And I'm like, what does she mean by that? What does she mean? I understand what she means. Be careful what you pray for. I prayed that, Lord, take what I have, bless it, multiply it in Jesus' name. And that was it. Didn't know what to expect. And my channel grew really quickly. Um, and it was a little overwhelming. It was really a bit overwhelming because I don't know that I was prepared for it. I thought I was going to have 100 or so, maybe 110, just people who wanted to come in and hear my voice about the Baltimore Ravens and what they need to do better next season so they can win a Super Bowl. That's what I thought. And it happened really quickly. So, what I take from that is in life, there are going to be times where the unexpected happens. And what do you do in those moments? And in that moment, you can either allow it to become your a great asset for you, or you can shy away from it because you're afraid or because you feel like, "Oh, I can't I'm not ready to handle this. I don't know." But again, one thing that I would say, if I had to say one word, is resilient. There were days, again, where I'd knock myself down, but I got to pick myself up. And having an impact, whatever that impact may be, on people who I've never met before, they tune in week after week to listen to something that I didn't even know was valuable, but it really is. So never doubt yourself and whatever message you have. If you are a content creator, if you are thinking about launching some type of or some platform of content, believe that your voice and your message is important and that it's going to resonate with someone, and allow that to be your motivation, even in the toughest of times.
And they love her. Her community, we not
I love
because I'm part of her community. We truly love her. I will stay up at night, girl. I'd be trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, I can't go to sleep. Yolanda's gonna be doing that after the game show. I gotta stay up.
Oh, they stay up for Hendo because he's the funny one.
Oh, they are like Felix and Oscar. It is the funniest thing to watch. Hendo and Yolanda are like Felix and Oscar. I would say
Exactly.
Yolanda, yes.
Yay.
Yes,
Thank
salute
you.
to the moderators in the building.
Yeah.
And Tracy, thank you for seeing that it's Yolanda who's motivating. I'm just over here along for the ride, just saying. Just so you know, I'm just here for the ride. And David, yes, in all uppercase, we love Yolanda.
Oh, I love you guys
And
back.
I don't know if you saw this, because I got feelings about mom. Mom pops up right
Yes.
in tow the live stream to support. Yes, she
She
does.
does. She's
Yes,
so
she
sweet.
does.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
She's my mom, Tora, I don't know how tall you are, but I think you and my mom are about the same height. My mom on a good day, maybe 5 feet, if she stands up straight. I tell her, "Mom, if you stand up straight, you can reach 5 feet." But, my mom she's a really little short lady, but she's sweet.
You know what? There's power in there.
There
'Cause
is.
she didn't live life, right? She has lived life and been through some things, and
And
she's
she's
had to have her own voice, especially like you said, you shared a little bit about your, being a PK.
oh,
So
yeah.
she has had to deal with some things.
Mhm. As a preacher's wife, my
As a
mom
preacher's wife,
has has been there and done that. She
y
has.
been there, done that, and all of the things.
All of it.
So, okay, so Tracy is 5'3", so she's a little bit tall.
Okay,
Okay.
Tracy, five
Okay.
three. Oh, you and
Okay,
my
she's
mom are
your
neck and neck.
friend, Adafe Owe. Here you go.
I love it.
Sometimes I feel like he's figuring out where he's running. So your question is, how do you pivot? And I've watched you and heard you talk about pivoting in your content. How do you pivot under pressure and actually land the play? And you've made some pivots.
I have. I think pivot is a very good word because it's something that in life we are going to be required to do whether we want to or not. Circumstances are sometimes going to be beyond our control. And when you find yourself in a place of being inflexible, that is going to create so much friction. But being able to recognize that this is a moment or this is a time or this is an instance where I don't have control of this. I can't, but I have to kind of go with the flow. And that's something that I'm learning and that did not come easy for me because I'm usually one that likes to I wanna know what we're doing, where we're going, where what time we're gonna get there, where are we stopping in between, what's gonna happen on the I'm very much like that. Probably drives my husband bonkers though, but I'm very much that way. But learning how to say, "I don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm just going to trust God, and I'm going to trust my instincts, and I'm going to have to make this pivot." And I believe that if I do the right thing, if I have the right intentions, and if I operate in integrity, good things are going to greet me on the other side. So, one thing I tell my community before every game, I tell them, I'll see you on the other side of victory. And then I come back after the show and we talk about victory, hopefully. Sometimes we don't,
Sometimes it's
but
victory, sometimes it's
sometimes
second
we don't.
place,
Yeah,
sometimes
sometimes
it's
we come in
second
second.
place, but
Sometimes we come in second place.
sometimes it's
So,
second place
right.
when it shouldn't have been. Just saying.
Mm, mm.
We know. We
These
know.
ravens,
Sometimes it shouldn't have been.
these ravens.
So now they are on your mom's size height.
Oh,
They're
okay.
talking about mom's height. So here you go. Tora, me and mom can see eye to eye.
I'm 5'3" during the week. When I'm live, I'm 6'10". Oh, Tora, my mom is I tell her, "Mom, if you stand up straight, she really could touch 5 feet. Like, she can be 5 feet, but she just, I think she's like 4'11". She's a tiny little lady.
And
Your
her grand
grand
was
was
5.
5 feet. Mm, I love it. I
And you
love
saw
that.
Aubrey over here waving that hanky. Girl, she growing it at you. They
Get
got the
it.
hanky. Yeah,
Aw,
she's a PK. She's a
yeah,
PK.
I am.
So,
Yep,
yep.
yeah.
So, we are going to wrap this up, but you do have opportunity to come to the lounge. You can go to the site. Our moderator will drop it in. You can register if you have not. If you have already registered, just come on in. You have the link. Come on in. As I say, you're going to get, Yolanda, I'm going to give you a break to get a drink and have a moment. So I'm going to do that and just take you off so you can have a moment to get a drink. Well, not that way. Um, there's the link right above my head, but you can come on in. There will be an opportunity. Yolanda has graciously agreed to answer questions that really you shouldn't ask in public. I will continue to say everything is not for the public square. So if you want the answer to a question that either you're uncomfortable or you already know you should not be asking for whatever the reasons, security reasons, privacy reasons, the whole nine, come to the lounge, which is a Zoom meeting, and we're not recording them. So you can have the conversation and get the question answered from her this evening. So that is my plea to you and reminder to you to come on in. And if you already registered, just come on in and ask your questions. All right. So as we go to wrap up with my last question, and then for those who have not been here before, and maybe you're watching on the replay, and thank you if you are, Yolanda is going to take us out of here.
Yes.
So this is going to be one that's you're going to love, I think.
Okay.
How do you stay updated with the latest news and trends about the Baltimore Ravens? Because this, knowing this and having this information is part of your voice that you're bringing, that broadcasting sportcaster or sportcastress, as Tora says, part of what you're doing. How do you keep up with it all? I really want to know because I have a hard time with this.
I keep up with it by subscribing to a few trustworthy sources on X that as soon as there is breaking news with the Ravens, because they work or they're affiliated with the Ravens, they're publishing it or they're it's not tweeting, but they're posting. There we go. I think that's the correct word. They're posting the breaking news as it happens. And so I will receive alerts on my phone and then I will say, "Ooh, now that's a hot topic. I need to talk about that tonight." And then I'll, jot it down, make a little note, and then after work, I'll take a look and try and figure out, how can I talk about this breaking news or kind of gather my thoughts on how I feel about a particular topic. So that's kind of how I stay up to date through social media.
Okay. Social media. That's the trick
Yeah.
for somebody who don't live on social media. So Aubrey is still on this PK thing.
Yay.
Uh, uh, Tracy's probably getting ready to go to bed because she's up early in the morning, and Tora is getting into prayer time. So understand. And once again, Tracy has been um, poured into
Yeah.
by you. So
Aw, thank you,
thank you
Tracy.
so very much. You guys have been really, really busy in the stream tonight. Lots of greeting each other. I always appreciate seeing you. I'm just double checking if you see me walking away, looking away. I'm not ignoring. I'm just looking because I've got the comments down below. I'm just double checking and making sure I did not miss a question here. So, gang, we're going to wrap this party up. And I am going, if nobody else wants to talk with her, let me just tell you, we can have a good time by ourselves. We already know that. We can have a lot of fun
Yes.
by ourselves. But come on into the lounge. And Yolanda, I thank you for being here. Now, here they come. You know what? I should have just flicked the lights and let them be. uh, But yes, thank you for being here. And as I shared with you, one of the things that's super important is for the community to walk away with something that they can use, something that will get them through the next period of time. So I'm going to ask if you would be so kind as to share whatever and make sure people know how to find you, even though it's right there on the screen. Ravens Talk with Yolanda, how to find you and anything else you'd like to share with them. And then we're going to go, it's the see and go, we're going to go home.
Thank you, Florence, so much for having me. This was a treat. It really was. I appreciate you opening your platform and your community and allowing me the opportunity, the privilege to just share with them. Thank you. And to those who are watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, something that I say to myself often because I need a reminder every now and again. You are enough. Believe that. Don't let circumstances, don't let individuals tell you otherwise. Believe that you are fully equipped to handle the moment. And whatever moment is in front of you, just know that you have whatever you need to make it across the finish line. And with that, I'll tell you, like I tell the people in my community, I will see you on the other side of victory. Thanks for tuning in.